The sound of glass cracking shattered the silence of the executive conference room like a gunshot, and in that instant, every powerful name in the room froze as the single dad janitor's trembling hands slammed the CEO's phone onto the polished table. What popped out from beneath the shattered screen made the woman who ruled the company with iron authority go pale, then visibly tremble, as if the ground beneath her perfect world had suddenly given way. Before this moment, no one had paid him any attention. To them, he was just the janitor who came in after hours, quietly mopping floors, wiping fingerprints off glass, and leaving before the sun touched the skyscraper windows. But if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the hidden strength of ordinary people, take a second right now to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, because stories like this remind us that even the quietest lives can shake the most powerful towers. His name was Aaron. A single father of a 6-year-old girl named Lily, he lived in a cramped apartment where the paint peeled and the heater barely worked in winter. Every morning before dawn, he tied his daughter's shoelaces with careful fingers, packed her lunch with whatever he could afford, and sent her off to school with a smile that hid how exhausted he was. Her mother had passed away 3 years earlier after a sudden illness, leaving Aaron with a broken heart and a mountain of responsibility. Since then, he took every shift he could get, every extra hour, every overlooked task no one else wanted. His job as a janitor at one of the city's most powerful corporations wasn't glamorous, but it paid the rent and kept food on the table. That was enough for him to keep going. Each night, Aaron pushed his cart through long, echoing corridors lined with glass and steel. He watched executives through transparent walls as they argued over numbers that were bigger than anything he could imagine. He cleaned behind them, invisible, never heard, never acknowledged. But what they didn't know was that Aaron was observant. He saw everything. He noticed the faces that changed when certain names were mentioned, the files left behind in haste, the hushed conversations that stopped when he entered the room. He didn't seek trouble, but trouble had a way of finding those who stood too close to truth. One night, while emptying trash in the executive suite, Aaron noticed a phone left on the corner of the long conference table. The CEO herself had stormed out during a late meeting, her temper visible even from the corridor. The phone vibrated with incoming messages, lighting up the darkened room again and again. Aaron didn't intend to look. He never crossed such lines. But as he picked up the phone to place it in the lost and found, the cracked screen exposed a photo notification beneath the broken glass. What he saw made his stomach turn to ice. The image was of a little girl, bruised, frightened, and unmistakably familiar. It was his daughter, Lily. His hands began to shake so hard he nearly dropped the device. Panic surged through his chest, choking his breath. The messages attached to the image hinted at something far darker than a misunderstanding: threats, warnings, transactions disguised as business notes. The reality crashed down on him with terrifying weight. Someone in this towering building knew his child, had taken her image, and was using it as leverage. That night, Aaron didn't go home. He couldn't. He sat in the stairwell until morning, staring at the cracked phone in his hands, praying that Lily was still safe in her school the next day. By sunrise, fear had hardened into resolve. Aaron was not a powerful man. He had no wealth, no influence, no voice in those glass rooms. But he had something stronger than all of that: he had a child to protect. When the CEO arrived for her morning meeting, her confidence was unshaken, her heels echoing authority across the marble floor. She did not expect the janitor to be waiting inside the conference room, standing stiffly beside the table with her phone in his grip and terror burning behind his eyes. When Aaron slammed the phone down, the impact sent fragments of broken glass skittering across the polished surface. The executives jumped. The CEO turned sharply, prepared to unleash fury at the interruption. But before a word could leave her lips, the cracked screen lit up one last time. And what popped out beneath the shattered glass? A hidden memory card dislodged by the force, slid across the table and stopped right in front of her. The room fell into a thick, suffocating silence as the CEO stared at that tiny piece of plastic as if it were a live grenade. her face drained of color. The trembling started in her hands, then traveled through her shoulders. In that moment, her power evaporated, replaced by a fear so raw and naked it stunned everyone present. Inside that memory card were not just images, but records, transactions, communications, and proof of illegal dealings tied directly to the abuse and exploitation of vulnerable families. Families like Aaron's. Security was called. Authorities followed. The truth poured out faster than anyone could stop it. The company's spotless image collapsed within hours as investigators uncovered a network of corruption that ran deeper than anyone imagined. The CEO was taken away in handcuffs, her empire crumbling behind her. And in the chaos that followed, one small truth shone brighter than all the headlines: a janitor had brought down a giant with nothing but courage and a father's love. When Aaron finally returned home that evening, Lily ran into his arms with the same innocent joy she always had, unaware of how close the world had come to taking her from him. He held her longer than ever before, feeling the steady rhythm of her heartbeat against his chest, silently thanking whatever force had guided him to that phone, that night, at that exact moment. The days that followed were a blur of interviews, investigations, and whispered conversations. Aaron tried to retreat back into the quiet life he knew, but the world wouldn't let him. The company's board, desperate to rebuild trust, offered him support, financial stability, and a chance at a better life, not as a reward for heroism, they said, but as recognition of what he had endured. For the first time since Lily's mother had died, Aaron felt something new stirring beneath the exhaustion and fear. Hope. He moved into a small house with a yard where Lily could play. He no longer worked night shifts that stole his sleep and his strength. And every morning, as he walked his daughter to school under open skies instead of city shadows, he was reminded that sometimes the smallest hands can carry the heaviest truths, and the quietest people can change the loudest worlds. If this story touched your heart, stirred your emotions, or reminded you of the quiet heroes around us, please take a moment right now to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of hope, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful real-life inspired stories like this. And before the ending, we have one special request for you. Please comment the word courage if you believe that even ordinary people can create extraordinary change. Years later, no one remembered the exact arguments that once echoed in that conference room, but many remembered the story of the single dad janitor who refused to stay invisible when his child's life was at stake. Power, it turned out, didn't always wear expensive suits or sit behind glass desks. Sometimes it wore worn gloves, pushed a cleaning cart, and carried a father's desperate love. And that love was strong enough to shatter more than a phone. It shattered the illusion that only the powerful shape the world. So if this story moved you in any way, don't forget to engage with it, because every like, every comment, and every share helps spread the message that kindness, courage, and second chances still matter in a world that often forgets them.